Winners never quit and quitters never win. Don't stop now, keep plugging away. Now we've all been there, times where we could have just told that person to just shut the fuck up about these words. Face it, a lot of the times people say all these words about keep going, just, you can do it. It's a lot easier said than done. But the core principle, guys, is that we must keep going on, because if we don't carry on, guys, there's no telling what fortunes we may miss out on. Now the story that we're going to tell in this video today is an excerpt from Napoleon Hill's infamous book Think and Grow Rich. It's literally a golden illustration of this subject. Now the story is called 3 Feet from Gold. Now one of the most common causes of failure is the habit of quitting when one is overtaken by temporary defeat. Every person is guilty of this mistake at one time or another. Now, the story goes is that an uncle of R.U. Darby was caught by the gold rush fever in the gold rush days and went west in America to dig and grow rich. He had never heard that more gold has been mined from the brains of men than has ever been taken from the earth. He staked a claim and went to work with his pick and shovel. The going was hard, but his lust for gold was definite. After weeks of labour, he was rewarded by the discovery of the shining ore. He needed machinery to bring the ore to the surface. Quietly, he covered up the mine, retraced his footsteps to his home in Williamsburg, Maryland, and told his relatives and a few neighbours of the strike that he had found. Altogether, they got money together for the needed machinery and had it shipped. The uncle and Darby went back to work on the mine. Now the first car of ore of gold was mined and shipped to a smelter. The returns proved that they had one of the richest mines in the whole of Colorado. A few more cars of that ore would clear all their debts. Then once all the debts were cleared off, they would come back with the absolutely crazy profits. So down went the drills, up went the hopes of Darby and uncle. But then something happened. The vein of gold ore disappeared. They come to an end of the rainbow and the pot of gold was no longer there. They drilled on and on and on and desperately were trying to find and pick up that gold vein again. But that was not the case. They couldn't find anything more, and finally they decided to quit. They sold the machinery to a junkman for a few $100s and took the train back home. Now, some junkmen may be dumb, but this one was not. He called in a mining engineer to look at the mine and do a little calculating. The engineer advised that the project had failed not because there was no more gold, it was because the owners were not familiar with the fault lines. His calculations showed that the vein would be found just 3 feet away from where the Darbys had stopped drilling. That is exactly where it was found. The junkman took millions and millions of dollars in gold ore from the mine because he knew enough to seek expert counsel before giving it up. Now most of the money which went into the machinery was from R.U. Darby's family, through his relatives, through his neighbours, and they gave it him because of their faith in him. He paid back every dollar of it, although it was years in doing so. Long afterward, Mr. Darby recouped his losses many times over. This was because he made the discovery that desire can be transmuted into gold. The discovery came after he went into business of selling life insurance. Remembering that he lost a huge fortune because he stopped 3 feet away from gold, Darby profited by the experience in his chosen work by the simple method of saying to himself, I stopped 3 feet from gold, but I will never stop because men say no when I ask them to buy insurance. Now Darby went on to be one of the fewer 50 men who went on to sell nearly $1 million in life insurance annually. He owes his stickability to the lesson he learned from his quitability in the gold mining business. Before success comes in any man's life, guys, he is sure to meet with much temporary defeat and perhaps even some failures. When a defeat takes over a man, the easiest and most logical thing to do is quit. That is exactly what the majority of people do. The 500 most successful people in Napoleon Hill's time admitted to him when he created his book Think and Grow Rich was that their greatest success came just one step beyond the point at which defeat had overtaken them. Failure is just a trickster with a keen sense of irony and cunning. It takes great delight in tripping one man's success almost within reach. That is the lesson that I want you guys to take on in 2019. You're gonna make mistakes and you're gonna make failures, but always remember, you may just be 3 feet away from gold.